IP complaints is a super serious topic for Amazon sellers, and you need to understand how to avoid them and deal with them in case you do get hit by them. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly that, how you can avoid IP complaints, and if you do get them, how to properly deal with them. If you get too many IP complaints, then your Amazon account is going to be put at risk, and you're putting your entire business at jeopardy. That's why it's super important to make sure that you understand today's topic. So make sure you stick all the way to the end so you can understand what I'm teaching. All right, so first things first, obviously the best thing that you can do to handle IP complaints is just to flat out avoid them. So I'm going to break down the best practices for how you can ensure that you're avoiding listings that are prone to give you IP issues. All right, so the first thing that you can do is get a tool like IP Alert. This is a paid tool. It's really worth it, but if you're not there yet, later in this video, I'll show you free methods as well. But if you can't afford it, it's $100 a year or $200 for lifetime access. And I've got a coupon code that makes that cheaper. But IP Alert will give you a pop-up flash warning anytime a listing or a brand is known to file IP complaints against Amazon sellers. Here's what their website looks like, and you can learn it more on here. I'll link it down below with a coupon code for you. Essentially, it's a crowdsourced tool, meaning they collect data from a bunch of other Amazon sellers, and then they will alert you directly on the Amazon page through a Chrome extension anytime a brand is known to file IP complaints. IP Alert should be used as a warning for you to dig deeper, not necessarily always a 100% reason to avoid the product. If you want to be super conservative, you can, but how we utilize this tool is that it alerts us to dig deeper at the data and see if we're actually seeing any signs of IP claims. So what do I mean when I say dig deeper in the data? This leads to the next point of always using Keepa. If you don't already have Keepa, you need to get it. It shows you the historical data for any product on Amazon, and it's also going to help you identify if any listings or brands are known to give IP claims. This is a Keepa graph on a chart for a brand that I know is prone to giving IP complaints because they actually gave me one. It's sharper image, so definitely avoid that brand if you're an Amazon reseller. And what we're looking at to see if their IP claims are really a couple of things. The most important is going to be down here in the new offer count. Anytime we see a sudden massive drop in new offers, this is an indication that an IP claim might have happened. Now, it doesn't always indicate an IP claim, but it is a good indicator. It could have been another error, like perhaps a high pricing error, a listing error, but what it means is that Amazon kicked a bunch of sellers off the listing all at once for some reason, and that could be because of an IP issue. And in this case, since I know this brand is prone to IP, I'm going to guess that's what this means. Oftentimes, it'll drop down further, and that's almost a dead giveaway that it's an IP. If we go back a year, we can see here it did drop down to practically just one seller. We'll zoom in and went from 17 sellers to 2 and then down to 1 all at once. That means that this was an IP claim, and we should definitely avoid this listing. Next precaution that you can take is to avoid listings that consistently have less than 3 offers. When a listing has less than 3 offers, this is a good indicator that it's either brand direct, the brand themselves, or a private label product. When there's less than 3 sellers, this means that the brand is probably not open to working with third-party sellers, which indicates why there's such a low number of offers. Again, this isn't always the case. It could just be maybe the listing was out of stock, or maybe there's just not a lot of people selling it. But a good indicator and a prompt for us to look deeper at the data is when there's less than 3 sellers consistently on the listing. And here's another Keepa example where we can see on average there are historically less than 3 FBA offers, which tells me that this product might be private label, it might be brand direct, it might be the brand themselves selling. Anyway, I want to dig deeper at the data, and this is another brand, Kohl, that is really known for filing IP claims, so I wanted to show this example. Whenever I see less than 3 sellers consistently, I want to go to data, offers, and then I want to see if the brand is on the listing. And in this case, I don't see Kohl on the listing, so it's probably not the brand themselves, but I'm going to guess that these people have wholesale direct relationships. And what I could do to ensure that is I could go to other Kohl listings and see if this pattern products is also on those listings. And then this is another good example for another indicator we can use. Anytime the buy box is completely flat, we really want to look into it, especially if the buy box is priced at or around the MSRP or what your cost of goods would be. If the item is selling on Amazon for MSRP, which is manufacturer's suggested retail price, that means that they're probably working directly with the brand and they're locking in at that MSRP price for Amazon. It's also an indicator of MAP pricing, which is basically a price that they're not allowed to go below. All around, between knowing that Kong is known for IP claims, the flat buy box line consistently with just a few sellers, I would say that this is another listing we should avoid. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you're being involved in the community. Join free Discord groups, Facebook groups, etc., and just ask around if brands are known for filing IP claims if you're ever unsure. I have a free Discord that I'll link below where you can always hop in and ask us about IP or any other issues you're having. So that's how to avoid, but next, if you do get hit with IP claims, I need to show you how you can actually properly deal with them. But first, if you're getting any value, please consider subscribing down below, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my uploads. Alright, so how to deal with an IP claim if you actually do get one. I'm going to be telling you this from my experience with dealing with these through Amazon and how to keep your account healthy. Intellectual property can be a legal matter, so if you're ever really concerned, it's best to speak with an attorney. I'm not giving you legal advice, I am giving you advice on how to keep your Amazon account healthy. If you get an IP claim, you're going to get a performance notification in your seller email and in your account health dashboard, and it's really important that you take this seriously and address it ASAP because Amazon takes IP issues very seriously. The first method that I recommend you do is you look at the email and the performance notification, and this is going to be the brand's contact information. I would recommend that you reach out to them directly and see if they're going to be willing to retract the IP complaint. I'm speaking to you directly in the context of assuming that you are an Amazon reseller. And when I've gotten IP issues in the past, a lot of times these brands will remove it if I send them an email and explain the situation. I simply say something along the lines of, "Hey, thank you for letting us know about this issue. We had no intention of infringing on your IP. We're just a small Amazon seller. We had no intention of harming your IP or selling your products unintentionally at all. Would you please be willing to retract this since we're acknowledging it and we will never sell your products again in the future?" And what's important is you actually don't. If they're going to be going out of their way to remove this IP complaint, you need to make sure that you're actually working with them. So I would tell your team, blacklist this brand. We're never going to sell it again. We ran into an issue. They were kind enough to take it away, and now we're going to avoid this brand moving forward. This is the first step I would take, but if that doesn't work, then you're going to need to submit an appeal with receipt or invoice to prove authenticity and the source of your products. This is done in the account health dashboard. You can submit an appeal along with your receipts or invoices for that product. Amazon is really looking for 3 things in your appeal, and I'm going to show you a quick tool that can help you create your appeal more efficiently. This tool is ChatGPT. If you're not super familiar, I'll link some videos up here that will show you more about how I utilize ChatGPT in my Amazon business. It's a free tool, but anyway, you can ask it pretty much anything, and you can also use it to help create stuff. So I asked it, what are the 3 points for an Amazon POA or appeal? And it told me root cause analysis, corrective action, and preventative measure. This means that Amazon wants you to identify what was the root cause of the problem. They want you to show corrective measure for how you're going to solve that original issue. And then they want to see preventative measure for how you're going to prevent it moving forward. Now, if you wanted to, you could have ChatGPT help you come up with your appeal letter to Amazon. You could just enter the info that you need and say, please take this info and turn it into an appeal for an IP complaint for Amazon FBA. The last thing that you could do to help remove these IP complaints if those first 2 methods don't work is consult with an Amazon account health service. You could choose to even work with them originally depending on how serious the case is. These firms are experts in fixing account health and they should be able to get that removed for you if you can't resolve it on your own. Hope you guys got value out of this video. If you did, please consider subscribing down below and we'll see you on the next one.